Like, subscribe, and turn on notification for more amazing video. Respect!
He saved an alien chief's daughter from Quicksand. Days later, she returned with her entire clan. The morning sun cast long shadows across the arid landscape as Adam Keller stepped onto the porch of his isolated cabin. His calloused hands wrapped around a steaming mug of coffee, real coffee, one of the few luxuries he'd insisted on bringing to this remote corner of Terrace Prime. The bitter aroma reminded him of Earth, a planet he hadn't seen in 7 years. "What do you think, Rex? Another quiet day in paradise?" Adam asked, glancing down at the German shepherd lounging at his feet. Rex's ears perked up, his intelligent eyes scanning the horizon. The dog had been Adam's only companion since he'd settled on this backwater planet, far from the chaos of the Galactic Federation's endless territorial disputes. After 15 years as a Federation Marine, Adam had seen enough bloodshed to last several lifetimes. His cabin sat on the edge of a vast desert plateau, overlooking a valley dotted with strange, twisted trees bearing purple fruit. The locals, a nomadic humanoid species called the Navari, rarely ventured this far into the Badlands, which suited Adam just fine. He'd built this place with his own hands, a simple structure of native stone and imported durasteel, designed to withstand the occasional dust storms that swept across the plains. Adam ran a hand through his thick, light brown hair, squinting against the sunlight. At 38, his face bore the weathered lines of someone who'd lived hard, fought harder. His 6'3" frame remained as solid as during his military days, though he'd traded his combat armor for more practical desert attire, except when venturing into the more dangerous regions, when he donned his sand-colored tactical armor, reinforced at the shoulders and forearms. Rex suddenly bolted upright, a low growl rumbling in his throat. "What is it, boy?" Adam asked, instantly alert. Years of combat had honed his instincts to razor sharpness. The dog's ears swiveled forward, and then he was off, bounding down the path that led toward the canyon. "Rex, damn it!" Adam set down his mug and sprinted after the dog, his hand automatically reaching for the blaster holstered at his hip. As he rounded a bend in the trail, he heard it, a high-pitched cry that definitely wasn't animal. Adam accelerated, boots kicking up dust as he followed Rex's barking. He found the dog standing at the edge of what the locals called a swallowing pit, essentially quicksand, but with a consistency more like liquid glass. In the middle, clinging desperately to a frayed rope that was anchored to a dead tree stump, was a small figure with bright blue skin, a child, a Navari child. "Hold on," Adam called, assessing the situation with military precision. The girl couldn't be more than 10 years old, her delicate form already half submerged in the treacherous pit. Her long silver hair was braided into fine plaits, now caked with the glistening sand. Large green eyes filled with terror locked onto his. "Please, help," she whispered, her voice trembling. Adam quickly shed his outer shirt, tying one end around his waist and the other to a sturdy rock formation. "Rex, stay," he commanded, and the dog obediently held position, though his body quivered with tension. "I'm coming to get you," Adam called, his voice calm and authoritative. "Don't struggle. It'll only make you sink faster." He tested the rope, then carefully made his way toward the girl, distributing his weight to avoid being caught in the same trap. The sand shifted treacherously beneath him, but his years of training in difficult terrain proved invaluable. When he reached her, the girl's bright orange shirt was stained with sand, and she was trembling violently. Up close, her skin had an almost luminescent quality, shimmering under the planet's harsh sun. "Put your arms around my neck," Adam instructed. "Don't let go, no matter what." She nodded, her eyes wide with fear, and wrapped her slender arms around him. She weighed almost nothing, but extracting her from the clinging sand proved challenging. With careful, measured movements, Adam pulled them both back towards solid ground, using the rope as an anchor. When they finally reached the edge, Rex circled them excitedly, tail wagging. The girl collapsed onto the hard-packed earth, gasping for breath. "You're safe now," Adam said, kneeling beside her. "What's your name?" "What are you doing out here alone?" The girl looked up at him, her luminescent skin now dulled with dried sand. "I am Adara," she said softly. I was not supposed to come here. Mother says the swallowing pits are forbidden." "Your mother's right," Adam replied, helping her to her feet. These badlands aren't safe for anyone, especially children. Adara ducked her head. I wanted to see the crystal flowers that bloom after the rains. She gestured toward a cluster of translucent, flower-like formations growing near the canyon's edge. They only appear once a year. Adam sighed. Curiosity is going to get you killed out here. Thank you for saving me, she said, her voice barely audible. She glanced nervously in the direction of the valley. I must go. They will be looking for me. Before Adam could offer to escort her back to her clan, Adara darted away with surprising speed, disappearing into the brush that lined the canyon floor. Well, that was interesting, Adam muttered to Rex, who whined in response. Come on, boy. Let's get back to our peaceful, uneventful life. As they walked back to the cabin, Adam couldn't shake the feeling that his self-imposed isolation had just been irrevocably disturbed. 3 days after the rescue, Adam was cleaning his pulse rifle on the porch when Rex's ears suddenly pricked up. The dog rose to his feet, his posture alert but not aggressive. What is it, boy? Adam set the weapon aside and stood, shading his eyes against the morning sun. In the valley below, a procession of figures moved with deliberate purpose toward his cabin. Even from this distance, the shimmer of their blue skin was unmistakable. Navari. But unlike the occasional hunters he'd glimpsed from afar, these moved with military precision, their dark metal armor catching the sunlight. Well, hell, Adam muttered, quickly assessing his options. Running wasn't his style, and besides, there was nowhere to go. This was Navari territory. He was the guest here, permitted to stay by the planetary governor's treaty with the indigenous people. He counted at least 20 warriors, all female from what he could tell. The Navari social structure remained largely a mystery to off-worlders, but he knew their society was matriarchal, with women holding positions of power and serving as warriors. Guess we're having company, Rex. Be on your best behavior. Adam ducked inside, quickly donning his tactical armor, not as a threat, but as a sign of respect. Among the Navari, formal meetings called for formal attire. He strapped his sidearm to his thigh, more out of habit than any expectation of danger. By the time the procession reached the clearing before his cabin, Adam stood waiting, straight-backed and composed. Rex sat obediently at his side, though his tail thumped against the ground in curious anticipation. The warriors formed a crescent formation, their armor more elegant than functional, with flowing lines that mimicked the natural contours of their bodies. Each carried a staff that Adam knew could extend into a deadly energy spear with the press of a button. From their midst stepped a tall figure, her bearing unmistakably that of a leader. Her armor was more intricate than the others, with swirling patterns etched into the dark metal. Unlike her warriors who wore helmets that obscured their features, her face was uncovered. And what a face it was! High cheekbones, full lips set in a determined line, and large almond-shaped green eyes that Adam recognized immediately. The same eyes as the child he'd rescued, though these held wisdom and authority rather than fear. Her silver hair was elaborately braided and adorned with small metallic beads that chimed softly when she moved. Beside her stood Adara, now clean and dressed in a simple white tunic, her eyes downcast. The leader approached, stopping a respectful distance from Adam. I am Liana, chief of the Starlight clan, she announced, her voice melodic yet commanding. You are the human called Adam Keller. It wasn't a question. Adam inclined his head slightly. I am. You saved my daughter from the swallowing pit. Again, not a question. Anyone would have done the same, Adam replied. A murmur rippled through the assembled warriors, and Liana's expression shifted subtly. Surprise, perhaps. No, human. Not anyone would risk themselves for a child not of their kind. She studied him with undisguised curiosity, especially not one who seeks solitude as determinedly as you do. Adam felt a flash of irritation. You've been watching me. This is our land, Liana replied simply. We watch all who dwell upon it. Fair enough, Adam thought. Well, now you've seen me up close. Curiosity satisfied? A hint of amusement touched Liana's lips. Not entirely. She gestured to Adara, who stepped forward carrying a small wooden box. My daughter brings you a gift of gratitude, Liana explained as Adara presented the box to Adam. It is our way. Adam accepted the box carefully. Inside lay a bracelet of intricately woven silver strands, embedded with small blue stones that seemed to pulse with inner light. It is star metal, Ileana explained, rare and valued among our people. The stones are heart gems found only in the deepest caves of our territory. It's beautiful, Adam said honestly, but unnecessary. It is necessary to us, Liana countered. A life debt must be acknowledged. The bracelet marks you as a friend of the Starlight clan. You may travel our lands freely and call upon us in need. Adam slipped the bracelet onto his wrist, feeling the metal warm instantly to his skin temperature. Thank you. Rex chose that moment to approach Adara, tail wagging. The girl giggled, a surprisingly human sound, and reached out to stroke his fur. Your companion is brave, Liana observed. He sensed my daughter's distress before you did. Rex has better instincts than I do, Adam admitted. Liana's gaze lingered on him, assessing. I doubt that, Adam Keller. Your eyes see much. There was something in her tone, a subtle shift that wasn't lost on Adam. The way she said his name carried a hint of interest. We would have you join us for the Moonrise Feast tonight, she continued. It honors the changing of seasons and would be an appropriate time to formally recognize your deed. Adam hesitated. He deliberately avoided entanglements with the local population, preferring his solitude. It would honor us, Liana added, her eyes holding his. The invitation felt weighted with more meaning than the words themselves conveyed. Then I accept, Adam heard himself say, surprising himself. Liana nodded, satisfaction evident in her expression. We will send an escort at sunset. She turned to leave, then paused. Wear your warrior attire, as you do now. My people respect strength. As the procession departed, Adam watched Liana's confident stride, the way her warriors fell in step behind her without needing commands. What do you think, Rex? Just a formal thank you? Or something more? The dog tilted his head, ears perked forward. Yeah, I'm not sure either, but I guess we're about to find out. Adam fingered the bracelet, feeling its strange warmth against his skin. After years of isolation, he was suddenly thrust into the affairs of the Navri. And despite his usual caution, he found himself intrigued by their enigmatic leader. As promised, an escort arrived at Adam's cabin at sunset, two Navari warriors who introduced themselves as Seren and Kira. They led him through winding paths that he'd never discovered despite his years on the planet, eventually arriving at a hidden valley nestled between towering rock formations. The Navari settlement was a marvel of organic architecture. Dwellings seemed to grow from the living rock, adorned with bioluminescent plants that cast a soft blue glow over everything. At the center of the settlement stood a circular clearing where hundreds of Navari had gathered around a massive bonfire that burned with unusual purple flames. The heart fire, Seren explained, noticing Adam's fascination. It burns only during sacred celebrations. Adam felt eyes on him as they approached, some curious, others wary. He was likely the first human many of them had seen up close. Rex stayed close to his side, drawing almost as much attention as his master. Liana awaited them at the edge of the gathering, no longer in battle armor, but dressed in flowing silver robes that complemented her blue skin. Intricate patterns had been painted on her exposed arms and face, shimmering with the same phosphorescence as the heart fire. Adam Keller, she greeted him, her voice carrying over the murmur of the crowd. You honor us with your presence. The honor is mine, he replied, suddenly aware of how rough-hewn he must appear among these elegant beings. Liana's eyes traveled appreciatively over his tactical armor. You came as a warrior. Good. She gestured for him to follow her to a raised platform where other clan leaders were seated. As they walked, she spoke quietly. There are matters we must discuss, but first we celebrate. It is our way. The feast began with ceremonial offerings to what Adam gathered were ancestral spirits. The food was surprisingly palatable. Roasted meats seasoned with unfamiliar but pleasant spices, fruits that burst with sweet juice, and a fermented beverage that warmed his blood and loosened his usually guarded demeanor. Throughout the meal, Liana explained aspects of Navari culture, occasionally leaning close enough that he could detect her unique scent, something like cinnamon and ozone. Each time she did, he noticed her warriors exchanging glances. Your people seem surprised by your attention to me, Adam observed. Liana's lips curved. It is uncommon for a chief to show such interest in an outsider. Is that what this is? Interest? Would that displease you? Her directness caught him off guard. Before he could respond, drums began to beat, and the Navari rose to their feet. The clearing transformed as warriors moved into formation, creating a large circle. The Moonrise Dance, Liana explained, standing. It honors the cycle of life and celebrates the bonds between our people. Adam watched, entranced, as the Navari began to move in perfect synchronicity, their movements fluid yet powerful. The dance told a story, one of struggle, triumph, and ultimately unity. As the first of the planet's 3 moons crested the horizon, bathing everything in silver light, the tempo changed. Warriors began selecting partners from the crowd. Among our people, Liana said, her voice low and intimate, the dance is also how we express compatibility. She extended her hand to him. Will you join me, Adam Keller? A hush fell over the gathering. Even without understanding their culture fully, Adam recognized the significance of the moment. The chief had chosen an outsider as her dance partner, a human no less. I'm not familiar with your steps, he admitted. The body knows what the mind does not, she replied. Trust in that. Taking her hand, Adam allowed her to lead him into the circle. Her skin was cooler than a human's, but not unpleasantly so. As the drums intensified, she guided him through the initial movements. To his surprise, the dance came naturally to him. Perhaps because it reminded him of combat drills, all precision and controlled power. Or perhaps because Liana was an excellent partner, her body telegraphing each move before it happened. As they moved together, the boundary between them seemed to blur. The dance became more intimate, their bodies drawing closer with each turn. When her hand slid up his arm to rest against his neck, he felt a jolt of electricity that had nothing to do with static. Your people are watching, he murmured as they turned. Let them, she replied, her eyes holding his. They should see that strength and honor exist beyond our kind. As the dance reached its crescendo, Liana leaned in, her lips brushing his ear. There is a threat to my people, Adam. The VX have been seen in our territory, raiders who take what they want and destroy what they cannot take. The sudden shift to serious matters surprised him, though he maintained the rhythm of their dance. Why tell me this now? Because tomorrow I will ask for your help officially as one leader to another. Tonight I ask as a woman who sees a worthy man. Her fingers tightened on his shoulder. My warriors are skilled, but they have never faced weapons like those the Vix carry. You have. The music reached its final crescendo, and as tradition dictated, Liana pressed her forehead to his, an intimate gesture among her people that signified trust and connection. When they parted, the crowd erupted in approving calls. Idara, watching from nearby, clapped her hand in delight. Come, Liana said as the gathering began to disperse. There is a tradition for honored guests. A private ceremony. She led him away from the main settlement toward a smaller structure built into the cliff face. Inside, glowing crystals provided soft illumination, revealing a chamber adorned with intricate tapestries depicting Navari history. Few outsiders have seen this place, Liana said, dismissing her guards with a gesture. It is where chiefs commune with the wisdom of our ancestors. As the door sealed behind them, the air between them changed, charged with unspoken possibility. Is communing with ancestors truly why you brought me here? Adam asked, his voice rougher than intended. Liana stepped closer, her luminescent skin casting a soft glow between them. No, she admitted. The dance revealed what I suspected. There is harmony between us, Adam Keller, a rare thing between different worlds. Her hand rose to touch his face, tracing the scar that ran along his jawline. Among my people, such harmony is not ignored. It is explored. Adam caught her hand, his pulse quickening. And if I wanted to explore this harmony, her smile was both invitation and challenge. Then you would honor our way and follow where your instincts lead you. As the 3 moons aligned in the night sky above, ancient traditions and new possibilities converged in that sacred chamber, witnessed only by the silent stone and the distant stars. Adam awoke to the sound of urgent voices outside the sacred chamber. Beside him, Liana stirred, Her luminescent skin dimmed to a soft glow in the morning light filtering through the high windows. The night had been a revelation. Their bodies different yet perfectly compatible, their connection transcending the physical. Adam had discovered that Navari's skin emitted a subtle vibration when touched with genuine affection, and Liana had been fascinated by the warmth of human contact, so much hotter than her own people's. "You burn like a star," she had whispered against his chest. Now reality intruded as a sharp knock came at the chamber door. "Chief Liana," came Seren's voice tight with urgency. "Scouts have returned with news. The Vix approach." Liana was instantly alert, all vulnerability vanishing as she donned her role as leader. She dressed quickly, her movements efficient and practiced. "How many?" she called out through the door. "3 ships descending toward the northern ridge. They will reach our territory by midday." Adam was already pulling on his tactical armor, mind shifting to combat readiness. "What kind of weaponry do these Vix typically carry?" Liana's expression was grim. "Energy weapons, sonic disruptors, technology beyond what my people possess." "I've faced worse," Adam said, checking his blaster's charge. "But we'll need a strategy that plays to your warrior's strengths." When they emerged from the chamber, Seren's eyes widened slightly at seeing them together, but she maintained her composure, bowing respectfully. "Gather the War Council," Liana ordered, "and bring the human's weapons from his dwelling." "Already done, Chief." "The council awaits, but—" Seren hesitated. "There is another matter. Young Idara cannot be found." Liana's composure faltered for the first time since Adam had met her. "What?" "Search the settlement immediately." "We have." Kira believes she may have followed the Dawn Patrol. They were tracking Vika Scout movements near the Crystal Caves. "Damn it," Adam muttered. "If the Viks are advancing and she's out there alone." "She is not alone if she's with the patrol," Liana said, though her voice lacked conviction. "Unless the patrol was captured," Adam countered. "We need to move now, on both fronts." They hurried to the central gathering area where Navari warriors were already assembling. Rex bounded up to Adam, having been well cared for by the clan's children overnight. "Good timing, boy," Adam said, scratching the dog's ears. "We might need your tracking skills." The War Council consisted of 5 senior warriors, all female, who regarded Adam with varying degrees of suspicion and respect. A 3-dimensional map of the territory hovered above a stone table, projected by technology more advanced than Adam had expected from the seemingly primitive clan. "The Vix ships will land here," one warrior said, indicating a plateau. "Their ground forces will likely split to surround our settlement." "And the Dawn Patrol?" Liana asked. "Last communication placed them here." Another warrior pointed to a canyon several miles north, near the Heart Gem mines. Adam studied the map intently. "The Heart Gems? That's what they're after, isn't it?" Liana nodded. "They power much of our technology. In the wrong hands, they can be weaponized. So we're facing a raid, not an invasion," Adam mused. "That changes things. Raiders want to get in and out quickly, with minimal casualties on their side." He pointed to several choke points on the map. "We need to funnel them through these narrow passes. Your warriors know the terrain. That's your advantage. Set ambushes here, here, and here." The council members exchanged impressed glances as Adam outlined a defensive strategy that maximized their strengths while accounting for their technological disadvantages. "What about Idara?" Liana asked, her concern for her daughter evident despite her efforts to maintain a leader's composure. Adam turned to Rex. "He can track her. I'll take a small team to find the Dawn Patrol and Idara while you prepare the defenses here." "I should go with you," Liana said. "Your people need their chief here," Adam countered gently. "I swear to you, I'll bring your daughter back safely." Their eyes locked in a moment of silent communication, the intimacy of the previous night creating an unspoken bond of trust. "Very well," Liana finally agreed. "Take Seren and Kira. They are my best trackers after the Dawn Patrol." Within minutes, Adam was equipped with his full arsenal. Pulse rifle, sidearm, tactical knife, and the portable shield generator he rarely used. Rex seemed to sense the urgency of their mission, standing alert and ready. As they prepared to depart, Liana pulled Adam aside, pressing something into his hand, a small heart gem on a leather cord. "It is attuned to Adara," she explained. "It will grow warmer as you get closer to her." "A tracking device?" "Of sorts. It responds to blood connection." She closed his fingers around the gem. "It is also a symbol of trust. Few outsiders have ever held a heart gem." Adam slipped the cord around his neck, feeling the gem's subtle warmth against his skin. "I won't let you down." "I know." Liana's hand rested briefly on his chest over his heart. "You humans, your hearts beat so strongly. It is why you fight with such passion, yes?" "Among other reasons," Adam replied with a small smile. "Return to me, Adam Keller." It was both command and plea. "Count on it." As Adam led Seren, Kira, and Rex toward the northern ridge, he felt the weight of multiple responsibilities: finding Adara, protecting the clan that had welcomed him, and honoring the connection he'd formed with Liana. For a man who'd sought isolation for years, he was suddenly at the center of a conflict that would determine the fate of an entire people. And strangely, it felt right. For the first time since leaving military service, Adam had a clear purpose, one worth fighting for. The heart gem around Adam's neck grew warmer as they approached the crystal caves. Rex had picked up Adara's scent an hour earlier, leading them away from the Dawn Patrol's last known position and deeper into the labyrinthine canyon system. "The child is clever," Saren remarked as they followed a narrow path between towering rock formations. "She did not stay with the patrol." "Is that normal for her?" Adam asked, ducking under a low overhang. Kira snorted. "The chief's daughter has always had more courage than caution, much like her mother." The comparison to Liana brought an unbidden smile to Adam's face. He'd known the Navari leader for barely a day, yet their connection felt profound, as if some cosmic alignment had drawn them together. "The heart gem pulses strongly," he said, feeling the stone thrum against his chest. "She must be close." Rex suddenly froze, hackles rising. A low growl rumbled in his throat. "Down!" Adam hissed, pulling Seren and Kira behind a boulder. 100 yards ahead, a Vix patrol emerged from behind a ridge. 4 soldiers in sleek black armor that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. Their elongated heads and 6-fingered hands marked them as distinctly non-human. Each carried what appeared to be a sonic disruptor, weapons designed to shatter solid matter at the molecular level. "Scouts!" Kira whispered. "The main force must be nearby." Adam nodded, assessing their options. "We need to find Adara before they do." As the Vix patrol moved out of sight, Rex whined softly, pawing at a narrow fissure in the canyon wall. "Good boy," Adam murmured, examining the opening. It was just wide enough for a child, or a dog, to squeeze through. "Adara could have gone in there," Seren said, peering into the darkness. Adam removed his tactical pack and extracted a small reconnaissance drone, one of the few pieces of advanced tech he'd kept from his military days. "Let's see what we're dealing with." He activated the drone, sending it through the fissure. Its feed appeared on his wrist display, showing a tight passage that opened into a vast cavern beyond. The drone's infrared sensors detected a small heat signature huddled behind a cluster of towering crystals. "Found her," Adam confirmed. "She's alone, about 50 meters in." "I can fit through," Kira offered, already removing her bulkier armor pieces. "No," Adam countered. "Rex and I will go. You two circle around and find the main entrance to the cave system. We'll need a quick extraction route once we have her." Saren looked skeptical. "The caves are sacred ground. Few know all the passages." "Then find the Dawn Patrol," Adam said. They must be nearby. We'll need their help when the Vix main force arrives." After a brief debate, the Navari warriors agreed to the plan, disappearing into the canyon with silent efficiency. "All right, Rex," Adam said, removing his chest plate and shoulder guards to fit through the narrow opening. "Let's go get her." The passage was tighter than it looked, forcing Adam to inch forward on his belly. Rex went ahead, his occasional whines providing reassurance that the path remained clear. When Adam finally squeezed into the main cavern, he was momentarily stunned by its beauty. Massive crystals rose from floor to ceiling, each pulsing with inner light in hues of blue, purple, and green. The heart gem around his neck resonated with them, vibrating against his skin. "Adara," he called softly, following Rex toward the heat signature. A small blue face peered out from behind a crystal formation. "Adam?" Idara's voice was barely audible. "It's me, kiddo. Your mother sent us to find you." The girl darted from her hiding place and threw herself into his arms, her small body trembling. "They took the Dawn Patrol," she whispered. "I hid when I saw them coming." "Smart girl," Adam said, checking her for injuries. "Are you hurt?" She shook her head. "I came to warn them about the bad ones, but I was too late." "The Vix?" Idara nodded. "They have a big machine. I saw them bringing it to the main cave entrance." Adam's tactical mind immediately grasped the implications. "A mining device?" "It makes the ground shake," Adara confirmed, "and the crystals cry." As if on cue, a low rumble vibrated through the cavern, causing dust and small fragments to rain down from above. The crystals around them pulsed more intensely, their light fluctuating in what almost seemed like distress. "We need to move," Adam said, helping Adara to her feet. "Can you show me another way out? One the Veeks might not know about." Adara nodded, her expression serious beyond her years. "The sacred pool. It connects to the surface through underwater passages. A mother showed me once." Another tremor, stronger this time, shook the cavern. A distant mechanical whine echoed through the stone. "They've activated the mining device," Adam realized. "Lead the way, quickly." Idara guided them deeper into the cave system, past increasingly large crystal formations that hummed with energy. Rex stayed close to the girl, his protective instincts clearly engaged. "The heart gems are alive," Adara explained as they hurried along. "They remember our ancestors. If the bad ones take them all, our people will lose their history." Adam understood now why Leanna had been so concerned. These weren't just power sources or valuable minerals. They were the cultural and spiritual foundation of Navari society. They reached a chamber where a pool of luminescent water reflected the surrounding crystals, creating a kaleidoscope of light on the ceiling. "The passage is there," Adara pointed to the center of the pool. "We must swim down and through. It opens in the forest beyond the canyon." Another violent tremor rocked the cavern, and this time a distant section of ceiling collapsed with a thunderous crash. The mining operation was destabilizing the entire cave system. "Can you swim well?" Adam asked, already removing his remaining armor. "All Navari can," Adara assured him. "But your companion—" Adam looked at Rex, realizing the dog couldn't make the underwater journey. "We need another way for Rex." Idara bit her lip, thinking, "There is a guardian's path that follows above the water passage. It is narrow, but he'll find his way," Adam said with confidence. "Rex, follow Adara's scent. Meet us outside." The dog seemed to understand, licking Adam's hand before trotting toward a small opening Adara indicated. As they prepared to enter the pool, a final, massive tremor shook the chamber. Cracks spread across the ceiling, and Adam knew they had minutes at most before the entire system collapsed. "Now," he urged, taking Adara's hand as they plunged into the glowing water. The underwater passage twisted and turned, illuminated by bioluminescent algae that provided just enough light to navigate by. Idara swam with natural grace, her Navari physiology clearly adapted to aquatic environments. Adam's lungs were burning by the time they emerged into a forest pool, gasping for air beneath a canopy of purple-leaved trees. Rex was already waiting, shaking water from his fur after finding his own path out. "We made it," Adara said, her relief palpable. But their celebration was short-lived. In the distance, the unmistakable whine of Vex ships cut through the air. "The main force is arriving," Adam said grimly. "We need to warn your mother." "Stay low," Adam whispered to Adara as they crept through the underbrush. The forest canopy provided decent cover from Vex aerial patrols, but they still needed to move carefully. They'd been traveling for nearly an hour when Rex suddenly froze, ears forward. Adam signaled for Adara to remain still as he inched forward to investigate. Through a gap in the foliage, he spotted a Vex transport vehicle hovering a few feet above the ground. Beside it stood 6 Vex soldiers guarding a group of captives, the missing Dawn Patrol, 5 Navari warriors bound with energy restraints. "The patrol?" Adam breathed, sliding back to Adara. "They're being transported, probably to extract information about the heart gem locations." We must free them, Adara insisted, her young face set with determination. Adam assessed their options. He was outmanned and outgunned, but he had the element of surprise, and sometimes that was enough. I need a distraction, he told Adara, something to draw their attention away from the prisoners. The girl's eyes lit up. The singing stones, she whispered. They respond to Navari touch. I can activate them from a distance. Adam raised an eyebrow. Singing stones? Watch. Adara closed her eyes in concentration, placing her small blue hand against a nearby rock formation. To Adam's amazement, the stone began to emit a low melodic hum that gradually increased in volume. All Navari children learn this, she explained proudly. For emergencies. Perfect, Adam grinned. When I give the signal, make those stones sing as loudly as possible, then stay hidden with Rex. He quickly outlined his plan, impressed by Adara's composure. The girl had her mother's courage. Moving silently through the undergrowth, Adam positioned himself on the opposite side of the clearing from where Adara would create her distraction. He readied his pulse rifle, checking the charge. When he was in position, he gave a low whistle, the signal they'd agreed upon. Immediately, a cluster of stones near the edge of the forest began to emit an eerie, pulsating melody. The sound was haunting and beautiful, rising in intensity until it echoed through the clearing. The effect on the Vivix was immediate. 4 of the 6 guards moved toward the sound, weapons raised. Adam didn't waste the opportunity. He fired 3 rapid shots, taking down the remaining guards before they could react. Then he sprinted toward the transport, using its bulk as cover, as he fired at the Vix, investigating the singing stones. The Navari prisoners, seeing their chance, worked together despite their restraints. One warrior managed to knock a fallen Vox weapon within reach of her foot, kicking it to another who somehow maneuvered it to disable her restraints. Within moments, the skirmish was over. The Vix lay unconscious or dead, and Adam was freeing the remaining prisoners. The human fights well, remarked the leader of the Dawn Patrol, a tall warrior named Thala. Our chief chose wisely. Adam felt a flush of pride at the acknowledgement. Adara, it's safe now, he called. The girl emerged from hiding with Rex, rushing to embrace the freed warriors who were clearly fond of their chief's daughter. We must return to the settlement immediately, Thala urged. The Vix main force is already advancing. They seek not just the heart gems, but total conquest of our territory. How many? Adam asked, collecting usable weapons from the fallen Vix. 3 ships, each carrying at least 30 soldiers, Thala replied grimly, and mining equipment designed to extract heart gems without damaging them. They've already started in the crystal caves, Adam informed her. The entire system is becoming unstable. Thala's expression darkened. Then we have less time than we thought. Without the heart gems, our defenses will fail. They moved quickly through the forest, the freed patrol members leading them along hidden paths. As they neared the settlement, the sounds of battle reached them, energy weapons discharging, the clash of metal, shouts and commands. We're too late, Thala murmured. The attack has begun. From their elevated position, they could see the Navari settlement under siege. Vix soldiers in their distinctive black armor had formed a perimeter, while others attempted to breach the central structures. The Navari warriors fought valiantly, their spears and bows surprisingly effective against the technologically superior invaders. At the center of the defense stood Liana, her silver armor gleaming as she coordinated her forces with calm efficiency. Even from a distance, the sight of her stirred something in Adam's chest. Admiration? Yes, but something deeper too. We need to break their line, Adam said, formulating a plan. Create an opening for reinforcements to enter the settlement. The southern approach, Thala suggested. It's their weakest point. Adam nodded, distributing the captured Vix weapons among the Dawn Patrol. Adara, you stay here with Rex. When you see us engage, count to 100, then run for the settlement. Your mother needs to know about the caves. The girl nodded solemnly, her hand buried in Rex's fur. The attack was swift and precise. Adam led the Dawn Patrol in a flanking maneuver that caught the Vix completely by surprise. Their stolen weapons cut through the enemy line, creating the opening they needed. Now, Adam shouted to Thala, get your warriors inside. As the patrol fought their way toward the settlement, Adam provided covering fire. A Vix soldier nearly caught him from behind, but Rex, who had disobeyed the order to stay with Adara, leapt from nowhere, knocking the alien to the ground. Good boy, Adam grinned, finishing off the stunned enemy. When they finally broke through to the central plaza, Liana's expression of shock quickly transformed to joy at seeing her daughter safe. She embraced Idara tightly, then met Adam's eyes over the girl's head. The look they exchanged spoke volumes: relief, gratitude, and something more intimate that needed no words. "The V seek to destroy the Crystal Cave," Adam reported as they took cover behind a barricade. "They've already begun mining operations that are destabilizing the entire system. Without the heart gems, we cannot power our defensive shields," Liana explained. "They know this." "Then we need to take the fight to them," Adam said. "Stop the mining operation at its source." "Agreed, but our forces are stretched thin defending the settlement." Adam surveyed the battlefield, his military mind analyzing patterns and weaknesses. "The Vix are coordinated through their command ship," he observed, pointing to the largest vessel hovering above the canyon. "Take that out, and their ground forces will be disorganized." "And how do we reach a ship in the sky?" Liana asked. A slow smile spread across Adam's face. "I still have a few tricks from my Federation days, but I'll need access to your armory. And a heart gem." Liana studied him for a moment, then nodded decisively. "Whatever you need." As they moved through the settlement toward the armory, Liana's hand briefly caught his, their fingers intertwining in a moment of connection amid the chaos. "I knew you would bring her back," she said softly. "I keep my promises," Adam replied, squeezing her hand. Their eyes met, and in that moment the battle seemed to fade away. They had found something neither expected, a bond that transcended their different worlds. But the Warhorn's blast brought them sharply back to reality. The Vix were mounting another assault, and time was running out for the Navari. The Navari armory was unlike any Adam had seen, a blend of ancient craftsmanship and advanced technology that defied easy categorization. Weapons that appeared to be simple spears housed complex energy modulators. Shields that looked like hammered metal contained microscopic heart gem fragments that generated protective fields. "Your people are full of surprises," Adam remarked as Liana led him to a sealed chamber at the rear. "As are humans," she replied with a subtle smile. "Few species could adapt so quickly to our ways." The chamber contained the clan's most precious artifacts, ceremonial weapons, ancient texts, and a collection of heart gems larger than any Adam had seen in the caves. "What exactly do you need?" Liana asked, her hand hovering protectively near the gems. Adam retrieved a small device from his tactical pack, a signal disruptor he'd kept from his Federation days. This was designed to scramble enemy communications, but with enough power, it could disable their command systems. Liana finished, understanding immediately. "Exactly, but it needs a power source stronger than anything I've got." He gestured to the heart gems. "Those might do the trick." Liana selected a gem the size of her palm, its blue surface pulsing with inner light. "This is one of our oldest. The elders say it contains the memories of 100 generations." "I won't damage it," Adam promised, carefully taking the gem. As his fingers closed around it, something unexpected happened. The gem's glow intensified dramatically, its light pulsing in rhythm with his heartbeat. "By the ancestors," Liana whispered, her eyes wide. "It responds to you as it would to a Navari." Adam felt a warm vibration spreading up his arm. "Is that normal for humans?" "No outsider has ever held a heart gem this way," Liana said, watching in fascination. "There must be something in your physiology." A distant explosion interrupted them, the floor trembling beneath their feet. "We can figure it out later," Adam said, quickly attaching the gem to his disruptor. "Right now, we need to get to that command ship." Liana nodded, her expression shifting back to that of a leader. "I will accompany you with my best warriors. The rest will continue defending the settlement." "It'll be dangerous," Adam warned. Liana's lips curved in a fierce smile. "I did not become chief by avoiding danger, Adam Keller." They assembled a strike team of 5 warriors, including Thala from the Dawn Patrol. Idara was left in the care of the settlement's elders, with Rex staying behind to protect her, though the dog seemed reluctant to leave Adam's side. "I'll be back soon, boy," Adam assured him, ruffling his fur. "Keep her safe." Their plan was audacious but simple. Use a Navari transport vessel, a sleek, organic-looking craft powered by heart gems, to approach the VX command ship under the guise of a damaged enemy shuttle. Once aboard, Adam would deploy his modified disruptor while Liana and her warriors provided cover. As they prepared to depart, Liana pulled Adam aside. In the dim light of the armory, her blue skin seemed to glow from within, her eyes reflecting the heart gem's light. "If we do not return," she began, but Adam gently pressed a finger to her lips. "We'll return," he said with quiet certainty. "I didn't find you just to lose you." The simple declaration hung between them, weighted with meaning. Liana's hand rose to his face, her cool fingers tracing the line of his jaw. "You humans," she murmured, "so brief in your lives, yet so intense in your feelings." "Is that a complaint?" Adam asked, his voice husky. "An observation," she replied, leaning closer. "And perhaps an appreciation." Their kiss was brief but electric, a promise of more to come. When they parted, both were breathing faster, their focus momentarily diverted from the battle ahead. "We should go," Liana said, though she made no move to step away. "Right," Adam agreed, equally reluctant. "Saving your people first, exploring harmony later." Her laugh was like music, bright and unexpected in the midst of war. The journey to the Vik's command ship was tense but uneventful. Their disguise held as they approached the larger vessel, transmitting stolen Vik's identification codes. When they docked in the auxiliary bay, the real challenge began. Moving silently through the ship's corridors, they encountered surprisingly little resistance. Most of the Vik's forces were deployed on the ground. "The command center will be at the heart of the ship," Adam whispered as they reached a junction, 2 levels up. They had almost reached their destination when an alarm blared through the ship. Their presence had been detected. "Go!" Thala urged, positioning herself at the corridor with 2 other warriors. "We will hold them here." Adam and Liana sprinted toward the command center, encountering a squad of Vik soldiers outside its sealed doors. The ensuing firefight was brief but intense, Liana's energy spear proving devastatingly effective in close quarters. When they finally breached the command center, they found it staffed by a skeleton crew, a commander, and 3 technicians, all of whom reached for weapons. Adam was faster. His pulse rifle dropped 2 technicians before they could fire, while Liana's spear impaled the 3rd to the wall. The commander, a taller Vix with elaborate markings on his armor, managed to activate his shield before Adam could target him. "Your resistance is futile," the Vix snarled, his voice a harsh metallic rasp. "The heart gems will be ours. Your primitive species will serve or perish." "Funny thing about humans," Adam replied, circling to flank the alien. "We don't do well with ultimatums." He feinted left, drawing the Vic's attention while Liana attacked from the right. The commander was skilled, parrying her spear thrust and firing a shot that grazed Adam's shoulder. But he'd forgotten one crucial detail. Adam still had the disruptor. Activating the device, Adam slammed it against the Vic's shield. The heart gem pulsed with blinding light, and the shield collapsed in a shower of sparks. Liana's spear found its mark a moment later, piercing the commander's chest. "Primitive, huh?" Adam muttered, stepping over the fallen alien to reach the ship's control console. With the commander dead and the heart gem-powered disruptor connected into the main systems, it took only moments to overload the ship's command protocols. Alarms blared as systems began failing throughout the vessel. "We have minutes before this thing crashes," Adam warned, grabbing Liana's hand. "Let's move." They fought their way back to the docking bay, collecting Thala, the only surviving warrior from their entry team, along the way. As they escaped in their transport, the Vic's command ship began its death spiral, its engines flaring erratically before exploding in a spectacular fireball. On the ground, the effect was immediate. Without central coordination, the Vic's forces fell into disarray. Some continued fighting, but others retreated in panic toward their remaining ships. The Navari, sensing the shift in momentum, pressed to their advantage. By nightfall, the last Vic's raiders had either surrendered or fled the planet. 2 weeks later, Adam stood on the porch of his cabin, watching the sunset paint the desert in hues of gold and purple. But his solitary dwelling was solitary no more. A small Navari settlement had sprung up around it, temporary structures to house the clan while their main village was rebuilt. The door opened behind him and Liana stepped out, dressed in a simple robe rather than her ceremonial armor. Since the battle, she'd spent more nights in his cabin than in her own tent, their harmony explored thoroughly and joyfully. "The council has reached a decision," she announced, joining him at the railing. After the Vic's attack, the Navari had convened their elders to discuss the future of their clan and their relationship with the human who had helped save them. And? Adam asked, trying to keep his tone neutral despite the anxiety twisting in his gut. He'd grown accustomed to having Liana and her people nearby. The thought of returning to his isolation was unbearable. "They have named you Heart Friend of the Starlight Clan," she said, her luminescent skin brightening with pleasure. "It is an honor never before given to an outsider." "What does it mean exactly?" Liana's fingers intertwined with his. "It means you are one of us now. The scientists believe your unique compatibility with the heart gems indicates an ancient connection between our species. Perhaps our ancestors crossed paths long ago. Or perhaps some things are just meant to be," Adam suggested, pulling her closer. "Perhaps," she agreed, her cool lips brushing his neck. "The council also approved my request for a permanent settlement here, where the forest meets the desert. A place where our peoples can learn from each other." Adam smiled, a weight lifting from his shoulders. "I like the sound of that." From the cabin, Rex barked excitedly as Idara's voice called out, "Adam! Mother! Come see what I found." They turned to see the girl proudly holding a small, glowing crystal, a heart gem seedling, rarely found outside the caves. "It was growing near the spring," she explained, her young face alight with wonder. "I think the land welcomes us." As Adam looked from Idara to Liana, he marveled at how completely his life had changed in such a short time. From isolation to family, from solitude to belonging, all because Rex had heard a child's cry for help. "You know," he said, slipping an arm around Liana's waist, "when I pulled your daughter from that quicksand, I never imagined where it would lead." Liana's luminescent skin pulsed with emotion as she leaned against him. "The ancestors say that sometimes a single act of kindness can change the course of many lives." "Is that a Navari saying?" "No," she replied with a smile. "That is a universal truth." As the first stars appeared in the darkening sky, Adam Keller, once a solitary warrior, found himself at the center of a new clan, a new family, a new beginning. And for the first time since leaving Earth, he was truly home.